Let's try this shit again. It is currently February 2026 by the time I'm writing and hopefully recording this. This is probably my second or third time rewriting this intro. Instead of ad-libbing everything on the spot like I did in the previous videos, I caved and decided to write a script to make it flow better. The worst part about ad-libbing like I do is that I record using DaVinci itself and end up creating excess audio tracks. I initially wanted to get all three parts out before the launch of the final shape. Even while I was recording all of my footage editing the first part, I severely procrastinated on this project and barely dropped the first part literally hours before the final shape drop. I'm practically retired from Destiny, but the urge to get back in is so strong right now. I was gonna get Edge of Fate and Renegades, but the Xbox store literally prevented me from buying it, so I took that as a sign. Let's be so for real though, we all know it, you're allowed to have fun playing Destiny 2, but the game is in the gutter. I've seen so many creators and people drop the game after all episodes post final shape. Regardless of the current state of the game, I believe we should still enjoy the memories this franchise has given us. Since Shadow and Order got delayed, increasing the doom and gloom even more, it's good that I put this out now more than ever. The first video I dropped is sitting only above 2 hours while I still have an additional 12 plus hours of intended usable footage. I've been neglecting this video for so long I had to fold at the beginning of my last semester in college and delete the raw footage of the first part just so I could have enough space to run several apps on virtual machines. Well, I've graduated and school is no longer an issue. I will stop being a bum and get to work. And no, I'm not doing this because my therapist recommended it, because I have free time to do so. Anyway, part 2, baby! This is the Destiny 2 that no longer exists! Destiny 2, a series of good times and very, very not so good times. In 2017, the level of marketing for this game was booming. We had a live action trailer, an international trailer, and whatever the hell this was with Antonio Brown. I'd be lying if I said I didn't love that emote though. Before people started collectively dogging on this game, Destiny 2 was on people's minds. Its first year was pretty rough and they ended up making the same mistakes they had 3 years ago in 2014. This is actually part 2 of my true new light experience, where I'm doing a full recap / replay of all of Destiny prior to the final shape. Don't feel obligated to go check out the first part immediately, but you can if you want to. Now before we get into Destiny 2, I have something to tell you that most veterans or people in the loop are already aware of, which I kinda also spoiled. For the next 4 campaigns, you won't have to pay a single cent. Why? Because they're all gone. Red War, gone. Curse of Osiris, gone. Warmind, gone. Forsaken, gone. As Destiny 2 entered its 4th year of development, they created the DCV, or Destiny Content Vault. Stories, activities, and whole destinations were removed from the game. The concept of sunsetting, depreciating older gear so that it wouldn't be overutilized was also implemented. I could get behind sunsetting since they did it in Destiny 1, but getting rid of content people, myself included, paid for, not so much. In the year prior, Destiny 2 had become free to play as well. You might be wondering, how are you supposed to showcase the content if it's no longer in the game? Well, think about it. If you miss out on something, usually just hop on YouTube and just watch what you missed. That's exactly what we're doing here. I did a massive rewatch with my friends who had either never or hardly played Destiny, so you get to watch me watch the game? This was honestly the hardest part of my massive Destiny recap. My method of collecting footage was really slow, and on top of that, I fell asleep a lot.
This is the last Braytech transponder that we need. Where is this last one? I think it's up north. I'm gonna go for a little drive. Oh my god, this is it. This is the very end of the end. Why is my heart pumping, dude? Is this what it feels like to be a SEAL warlord? For the day that Master Sweetsackle has earned every single seal in the game just for a YouTube video.
To be fair, I was already guilty of doing that when I was replaying D1. D2 also came with new weapon archetypes: SMGs, grenade launchers, linear fusion rifles, and trace rifles. However, the first and only trace rifle in the game at the time would be the exotic pre-order bonus Cold Heart. One more thing, the game you're about to see is completely different from what it is today. We were slow as fuck, weak as shit, all gear had static one and done rolls, and we were forced to run double primary, which really only benefited PvP. Let's begin with the Red War, or Vanilla Destiny 2. Going in with me paying another $60 for this game while you're still at $60 total, I've now spent $180 in the span of 2 years. Wait a minute, that's not right. I wasted so much time that Destiny the Collection is now $20! Congratulations! In just a year and a half, you just saved 40 bucks. Or if you're extremely lucky, just a couple months ago, you bought it for 5 bucks. It starts off with a pretty similar intro with the whole Golden Age collapse and the Traveler fighting back against the darkness. I actually don't remember seeing this intro at all.
Oh, this is your destiny. He said it. He said it.
If you were a veteran player or at least touched Destiny 1 prior to playing Destiny 2 when it initially launched, you got a recap of all your D1 moments. This guy's recap is pretty lackluster and hopped into the game really late, so this is how a real one should look like. Anyway, we start with the story with Cade walking in and the rest of the Vanguard near the table. Ikora notices that there were no satellites to detect incoming enemies in the last city, and Zavala looks in the storm as our enemy reveals themselves. The last city, the core tower itself, was being attacked. This new enemy was Cabal, specifically the Red Legion, and they were approaching with a strange device and heading straight for the Traveler. Now here we are on our ship pulling up into the now destroyed tower. We meet up with Cade, who sweeps through these guys, and Shaxx gives us more weapons to fight back with. Although we were a lot weaker back in year 1 and getting hit by a Cabal drop pod is outside of your control, we're going to keep dogging this man's gameplay a lot. What I really liked about this mission is getting to fight alongside Zavala as he shields you from incoming missiles. You even get to res him too if he gets hit by a stray one. Then you got Ikora, who's got to be rocking that max intellect build because she pops 2 Nova bombs in under 10 seconds. Red War also introduces the Incendiors, Cabal boys with flamethrowers. Amanda Holiday, our good old ship gal, gives us a ride right up into the main enemy ship. We destroy the 3 turbines, and then meet with the leader of the Red Legion, Dominus Gall.
All right, watch this man. All right, shh. We're gonna watch this man get thrown off. Shh.
This is not a woman, bro.
I'll voice the dude.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't speak until the next DLC.
Mute it.
What do you mean mute it? He needs to fucking hold on.
Welcome to a world without light.
All right, now you can speak.
Dude, I made a noise. It was so high pitched. My mic.
You couldn't even. Bro had the full opportunity to fucking speak. Hold on, motherfucker. Where's my fucking voice mod?
Speak. It was just so high pitched. My mic didn't pick it up.
It's okay.
Where the fuck's my voice mod?
Dragging noises.
This man's fucking fumbling already.
Do not look at me. Creature.
Now's your chance. Bro, not even a reaction. Not even the
Dude, I went like.
What is wrong with your mic?
Bullshit.
You're not brave.
Ow, my stomach. It hurts.
All right, you got another chance. You got another chance. Don't fucking fumble now.
Allow me to
This is a true fucking 5'11".
Now's you got another chance. All right, one more. All right, here you go.
Oh my ghost man.
Oh my ghost man.
serve the power you were given.
I was told about people like you, the white man. All more like mauled.
Light
Yeah.
is mine.
Nuh-uh. Damn, your feet stink.
I can cut out
It's
again.
so delayed, bro.
Discord.
This is
Hard
true-
as
Felt
fucking
like
inch.
50 feet
This
before you
is
started
truly
yelling.
the second Destiny.
This truly is a Destiny 2. No, the whole deal of Destiny is not the campaigns. It's pretty much just playing after.
It was the friends we made along the way.
Like, the funny thing is, most professional players of Destiny do not know the fucking story at all because they just blitz through everything.
The
Like,
triangles.
those will be important later.
Dang.
Those are important later. Hey, what's that, Jacob?
It's blue.
What's that, Jacob?
It's a spear.
What's that?
Fucking cross or some shit. I don't know.
That's a sword. What's that?
A shield?
Yeah.
We've been doing this fucking bird thing since like Rising of the Shield Hero when the
Fucking
first season
bird
came out.
light.
With a fucking overtop bird. At this. All right, we're fucking dead. Apparently, we were fucking under rubble for 2 days. I don't understand how you're literally in fucking 2-day coma and still just. I always wondered what would happen if you ever got caught in this. I don't think it's designed for you to get caught. Or you just have to be really bad to let yourself get caught. Platoon, but who was Big Man up against?
Well, Big Man's team was Team Bear because it was like, what's your favorite Easter mascot? And it was Team Chick, Team Rabbit, and Team Bear. Shiver had Team like Chick. Fry
Oh
had
shit, it's
Team
starting.
Bunny.
Shh, shh, it's starting. Shh, shh.
Big Man had
Shut up,
Team
shut
Bear.
up. Shh, shh, shh.
Make it stop starting.
They've taken the city, the traveler, everything. The Red Legion is killing powerless guardians.
Just listen, just feel, just feel.
I'm picking up an emergency broadcast. Rendezvous coordinates. They're evacuating the planet. We're on our own.
Bird.
These guardians, they had no chance without their powers. That could be us. Guardian, if you die, I can't resurrect you. We need to be very careful. It's that falcon again. Is it following us? Or are we following it?
And then he died.
Are you supposed to not make that jump?
You're supposed to not make that jump. Is then you're greeted with this.
Oh look, somebody left a perfectly good guardian lying around.
Alright, back to the game. Right now our ghost is in a weakened state and can only heal us, not resurrect us. Soraya Hawthorne finds us after we fall, and we see her falcon Lewis, who we thought was guiding us at first. Then we dip and fly out to their base. We get a cutscene showing Gaul's perspective. He wants to gain the favor of the Traveler and be chosen as guardians just like humanity has, so he kidnapped the speaker in order to learn more about it. As we pull into our new social space, we see the Shard of the Traveler in distance. From our vision, we knew that's where we had to go next. Here we are in the farm, our temporary tower for the duration of the campaign. It's got all your needs: a postmaster, a vault with emote and emblem storage, and a cryptarch, Tyrakarn, who doesn't remember us for some reason. You talk to Hawthorne, then you make your way through the EDZ to get to the Shard of the Traveler. We encounter the Fallen wearing purple clothes. All the old house banners from D1 are gone, so most of them are united under one, House Dusk. They got them creeping in, trying to add that horror element vibe, like the Hive in D1. Eventually, you make your way to the Shard of the Traveler.
Wins. Armor. Does Destiny 2 have any of that? Okay. Alright, watch this man get the light. We gotta watch this man get the light. Hold up.
How's this dude like not tired?
I don't know, because he literally has not eaten for like a week, probably. Or maybe he does eat. I don't know if Guardians need to eat.
This is why we were late.
Especially after they lost the light.
Well, probably not naturally, because
I
like they're in
haven't been
Portal.
as close to the
They still get hungry, actually.
Like they're like
They
Portal
actually get
fans,
hungry.
so, like, do they eat?
They need to, because they'll pretty much just die of starvation.
Hold on to your helmet.
And just get rezzed again. Like, as much as they are undead, they are still technically living.
Do you feel it? The light is back. We're back.
A bunch of fuck off enemies are gonna spawn.
Yep.
Eyes out, Guardian.
Alright, at least he has the arc staff, so he can't miss every fucking single shot of Golden Gun. He's like, hey guys, I went down to the fucking Shard of the Traveler. That's where I got my light. Maybe you guys could do that too. Nope, too busy trying to take down Gaul. Well, I mean, with Gaul, it was kind of an urgency issue. We're not gonna... Okay, bro's fumbling with the staff, which is exactly what I didn't want him to do.
What is that, bro?
I can't even, no, I can't even vouch for that. Oh yeah, that's right. Every time you leveled up, you got upgrade points. Abilities, subclasses, all that. They don't have that now. I feel like we need it.
We've been watching this for a fucking hour. I'm done. No, it's just like I'm not even invested in that. It's just like invested. We're talking about the game itself. And that's
You
it
want
can be
some-
like,
Nah.
About that.
I don't know how you
Bro,
do 9/11
in Destiny 2.
With Jacob gone, our journey continues in the European Dead Zone, or EDZ. This would be the first actual destination to explore in Destiny 2. Here we meet Devram K, who's rocking that good old No Land Beyond sniper. It tries to show you the ropes in early Destiny 2 by introducing you to lost sectors, which are areas filled with enemies and a mini-boss at the end, and typically end with the mid-ass reward of glimmer and loot. As the story progresses, our time in the EDZ is very short-lived after we find a beacon and receive a message from Zavala, who is rallying Guardians on Titan.
You are not going to Titan.
We completely ignore Hawthorne's request and explain that with our light, we might be the only ones who can fight back against the Red Legion. Next up, we got one of the many combos of the speaker and Gaul.
The light lives in all places.
In all things, you can block it.
Then we actually go to Titan, but Titan was already screwed since it's got a bunch of Hive. Honestly, the fear factor here when they introduced the Hive is not the same as it was in D1. After clearing through more Hive, we meet up with Zavala and briefly see Deputy Commander Sloan. After you get the power back, Sloan gives you your first exotic in D2. We then travel deep in the Pacific Arcology, steal the core, and ride the hell out of there. Sloan gives us the rundown on the Almighty ship that was parked in front of the sun. The Almighty destroys stars, which basically means bye-bye solar system and then some. If we were going to take out the Red Legion, Zavala was going to need his fire team. First on the list is the Hunter Vanguard Cade 6, who is on Nessus. The Vex had pretty much taken over this planet, or Centaur if you really want to be technical about it, much like they had with Venus. An old Golden Age AI failsafe named Failsafe helped us find Cade. Oh. Now cue the Vex introduction.
Bro, what is this?
Hurry, come on. I don't know how long this portal's gonna stick.
Kate, what have you...
Stop. Look. Long story, and it may look like I don't know what I'm doing, but I do. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Killing the power source at the origin point should break the loop and get me out of the portal system. Have you got that? Say you've got it. Say something.
Fine, I'll say it. We got it, Cade. Now, how did you...
Oh my cotton socks! Did you not hear what I just said?
And there he goes.
I'm guessing this is why they don't like him leaving the tower.
I swear we got absolutely blue-balled by our ghost from saying our first line in Destiny 2. After breaking Cade out of the teleporting loop, we kill a big fallen and get to play with the Scorch Cannon. Cade points us in the direction of Io to get Ikora. In the lore, Io is a sacred place for warlocks and the last place the Traveler touched. The Red Legion were already drilling for light, and apparently the Taken were attracted to the light as well. After clearing out the swarm of Taken, you meet with Asher Mir, who gives you your first exotic weapon. Somehow, in the face of adversity, the microtransaction militia known as Eververse made its way to the farm. Now, if you were paying close attention to the last mission, you'll see a guy get a melted hand cannon. This is actually how you got your other subclasses back. You'd randomly get your artifact, do a mission, hear a reading of a Gormar card, get your subclass, then test it out on some enemies.
Tell me again, Speaker, what makes your guardians worthy of the light?
Oh, here it
What
is.
the price of such power and immortality?
Devotion. Self-sacrifice. Death.
Death. Explain.
Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. Sacrifice leads to death. So, feel free to kill yourself.
Here for the taking. All that remains is your word. No, this is not the way, old friend. But it is the way.
So really what you're saying is, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
On the contrary. Now,
Well, at least we have each other.
indeed. We all know what.
You know, the city wall is kind of like this barn. Plenty of places to slip in unseen, so long as you know how.
You sure you're not one of my hunters?
Not really into capes.
Clearly. Nice poncho.
You need to get your team into the city without raising any alarm. We've had to survive without the light all our lives. Once upon a time, that big white ball in the sky was there.
We have the whole vanguard together at the farm, and with the advice of Hawthorne, they all agree to attack the last city together, lightless guardians and humans.
You got us a tank? You got them a tank? How come I never got a tank?
Of course, with us being the only guardian with the light, we had to make our way into the Almighty. In this mission, we got a good old tank called a Drake. Honestly, one of the best parts of this mission. We make our way onto Thumos' ship, kill him, and use it in order to infiltrate the Almighty. This was honestly one of my favorite missions. We're literally right next to the goddamn sun and could burn alive if we don't hide. Going through this tunnel was a peak moment too, but I learned the hard way that you're not supposed to spin around in here. At least not with multiple people. Also, this music. If there's one thing I hate in Bungie, it's that their bangers were never publicized or put in Spotify. I was literally annoying Jacob with Then it transitions with untold legends in the final act when you're running with the core and escaping the ship.
That's a good job, Colonel.
You gotta love moments like these in Destiny where it's all of humanity together. My boy Zavala keeps forgetting he doesn't have the light and Hawthorne has to come in clutch. I mean, when nobody has a light except us, I guess anyone could be a guardian. With no Almighty and the people attacking the city, the Red Legion are pretty much backed into a corner.
The enemy attacks the city, and the Almighty is lost. Lost? Explain yourself. What more does the Traveler want of me?
Go. I speak for the Traveler. I never said it spoke to me.
So this line is true and untrue. Not so much the Traveler doesn't speak, but it just communicates through dreams and vague messages. I don't know why or how, but the speaker just dies after hitting the floor, and after Gaul kills the console, he decides to take the light for himself rather than be chosen. We come riding in with a Cabal ship and immediately get shot down and have to take the long way to Gaul's ship. If the guy playing here is lucky, he would have had other players assisting him just like in the intro mission. Once you group up with the Vanguard, they're getting their asses handed to them. My brother Kate is missing a whole ass arm!
A working, probably stable Vex gate. One step and you'll be right next to the big guy.
Go for the Vanguard and the Traveler. Make it matter.
Oh, stop.
Fitting your Traveler would send you to face me once more. Look upon me. Dominus of the Red Legion. Annihilator of suns. Raiser of 1,000 worlds. Slayer of gods and conqueror of the light. I am Gaul! And I have become legend.
Had to let y'all take in the moment for a bit, but now it's time to get down and dirty with Gaul. The first boss of his time to be using the light like this, at least until 2022. Our player gets into a close call, but he doesn't let that stop him as he takes down Gary once and for all. You'd think it'd be done, but Gaul pulls a Guardian and tries to res himself. He declares his victory, but for the first time ever, the Traveler does something.
Okay, maybe there is enough time.
is in all places, in all things. You can block it, even try to trap it, but the light will find its way.
Ending title card! After the Traveler basically exploded with light, it cast it all over. Over Mercury and the Almighty. Over Mars. In the Reef. Hey, was it the Dreadnought? Its light was casted even way beyond our galaxy. However, all that light awakened something. Something we could only assume was the darkness. Here it is. That's nothing that can be explained now. Now it's time for what Destiny's all about, hoes. Endgame! First, you gotta talk to all the peeps discussing our victory over the Red Legion. Hawthorne, our clan vendor, rewards you with the Fire Team Medallion, which would boost your XP gains with your whole fire team. Ikora gives you a Ghost Shell, Cade gives you a sword, Amanda a Sparrow, and Zavala gives the big prize of an exotic Engram. Also, the Traveler is going to be looking like this for a while. Strikes were a little different in Year 1 of Destiny 2, since the only way you could play them was through the playlist strikes or via quests. There was no way to start a specific strike at the time. Now let's get into my favorite vanilla D2 strike, at least before Lightfall ruined it, the Arms Dealer. You got 2 tanks and a sniping Cabal boss. What more could you ask? Also, for the new people, these are called tokens, which was the currency for pretty much every vendor prior to 2021. After giving a vendor a certain amount of tokens, you typically get a reward, and Destiny would not be Destiny without good old exotic quest. We're going to start with the Mida Multi-Tool Exotic Scout Rifle, which is a returning exotic from D1. You started the quest with the Mida Mini-Tool Legendary SMG. This quest had you hopping around the EDZ like a dumbass trying to get some kills, and when you finished, boom, new exotic. When everything was slow as hell, this gun absolutely dominated in the Crucible. For the Rat King Sidearm quest, you chase down a fallen crew across Titan's Arcology. The way this captain looks back at you is odd. In the mission Chances and Choices, you encounter him again and have the choice of killing the knight or the captain first, but the canonical ending is you killing the knight and sparing the captain. He thanks you in a lick sneak tongue and lets you have the reactor. After finishing the Enemy of My Enemy questline, you finally get started on the actual quest that requires you to have a fire team of 3 that also have the quest. The quest steps would be in riddles, telling you to do patrols and PvP, and the final step to complete a Nightfall strike. After your Nightfall, you'd be rewarded with Rat King. More strikes, baby. This is a funny, not funny strike. Savathun's song. The copy pasta makes it funny, but literally every single one of those guardians died and got turned into crystals.
We came here as a squad of 9, got picked off one by one, watched a wizard rip the light out of my best friend, and channeled him in some kind of crystal.
Inverted Spire was actually the beta strike. Not so fun to do without a Sparrow. Look at that, baby Atheon. Now who likes some foreshadowing?
Afraid of your light. The one thing in this galaxy it can't simulate. Probably old news to Ikora, but I'll ping the Vanguard.
Your query has terminated, Ghost. The Vax Collective hopes it has answered all of your questions. A user within the network named Osiris sends his regards.
Ooh.
Oh, Ikora definitely needs to know about that. All I ask is you return to my loving embrace. Ew. Emperor Callus has spoken.
Whoa, wait, Emperor? As in Cabal Emperor? Okay, opulence later. Ikora now. Ikora! Great job today, guys.
Boy, he left in a hurry. I wonder what that was about.
Anyway, more exotic quest time! This is for the Sturm hand cannon. Failsafe has you search for the bodies of her old crew since she got a signal from her old captain, Captain Jacobson. We spot a weird looking heartbeat with a blue eye instead of its regular red one. Somehow Captain Jacobs' consciousness integrated with the Vex network and was able to communicate with us through the heartbeat, but his memories were still scattered. After beating a Minotaur, we find Jacobson's body, hearing his last recorded message, and regroup with Failsafe. If you loaded in the last mission that gave you Sturm, you'd essentially be doing the Exodus downstrike solo. You didn't need to finish the whole strike, but you had to at least kill this servitor before leaving. After going to Tyrakarn, you were rewarded with Sturm. Also, it'd be criminal to not show the boss at this strike. This was a pretty hectic fight. You had exploding shanks that would also shock the floors around him, and the boss itself would straight up disappear occasionally. Fuck you, more foreshadowing!
They're asleep. The music must have hypnotized them. This one says, once war has been undertaken, no peace is made by pretending there is no war. Ah, that music, it hurts. Just give me a second. It says, never ask for anything, never for anything, and especially from those who are stronger than you. They'll make the offer themselves and give everything themselves. I don't understand. Something's happening. Hey, sorry, I spaced out for a second there. What were we doing?
Rah rah Rasputin coming back to Destiny. He's coming back as DLC. Anyway, last strike of Season 1. The Pyramidion was basically a revenge story between Ashemir and Brachion, the first ever Hobgoblin boss. Brother was dangerous because this man could shoot 3 sniper shots in a row and spread purple flames everywhere. If you were one of the lucky few that had a good team of 4, you'd go flawless in the Trials of the Nine, which meant getting 7 wins with no losses. Trials of the Nine replaced the original Trials of Osiris for the entirety of Year 1, and as I stated before, it was teams of 4 rather than teams of 3. It had its own version of the lighthouse called the Spire, and you would interact with the emissary to get rewards. You would have a choice of 3 weapons, and then once you dive down here, you'd see a huge ass version of the emissary. The Star Horse off to the side, and then you get your final reward of a piece of armor, a crown aura that would be visible on your guardian, and the flawless emblem. I was and still am dog at PvP, but I still managed to secure at least 1 win back then. Raid time, baby! The Legend of Acreus shotgun initially had a Titan raid quest. After collecting Red Legion communications that dropped from Cabal and Nessus, you had to complete the Leviathan raid. This is still the most unique raid of its time. The 3 main encounters were completely randomized, and before every encounter you had to do the entrance encounter where you brought 3 standards to the plate. There was the Royal Pools where you'd have to destroy the lanterns in the middle. The Pleasure Gardens with the War Beast was probably my favorite encounter despite it being the most difficult in my experience. Honestly, it was carried by the music, not gonna lie. You had to kill all 6 War Beasts within a certain amount of attempts. The amount of damage was based on how many spores collected. If a War Beast spotted a player, it would start a wipe mechanic. What made this really difficult back then was the damage and weapon limitations. The Gauntlet was also another fun classic. In the final round of the Gauntlet, the whole team needed to run it in under a minute or everyone would die. As long as someone made it through, it counted for the whole team. Time for the final boss encounter, the former Cabal Emperor Callus, who was overthrown by Gaul. Here's the thing about the Callus fight. This was actually just a mechanical clone in his place. After beating the robot, it had one final message saying that there was a power greater beyond our light. In a way, Callus would be somewhat of an ally, or rather, we'd just be doing chores around the ship in exchange for loot. Speaking of loot, you still had the Legend of Acreus shotgun to obtain. You'd start up with 1 bullet mag version that was really slow. You had to get kills with it, and then you had to complete the prestige version of the Leviathan in order to fully obtain the gun. With our newfound gear and foes vanquished, a legendary warlock long since exiled, known to us only by name and legend, would soon return. Curse of Osiris was a big fall-off point for some people in Destiny. Bungie had made the same mistakes they did in Destiny 1 by once again dropping mediocre short-sized DLC. The flags were already there with the goddamn most rewarding public event.
I promised before that this was the most rewarding public event, and there we have it. We have 2 chests for a change, and check out those sweet moves.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, I'm an optimist and a slop consumer. I actually didn't hate Curse of Osiris. Sure, the campaign was underwhelming and most people didn't feel like they got their money's worth, but I was heavily dedicated or grinding it out, so I enjoyed the little time I put in. Speaking of money, let's check those prices since I have to spend another $35, $20 to $215. Things are very much in your favor. On with the story. With the awakening of the Traveler, Ikora is aware that this had caused a disturbance in the universe, pointing all enemies in our direction. Next we see a sequence of Guardians running the vault of glass, then Osiris and his ghost Sagira pop through a portal in time. Osiris sees something that scares him. They're later discovered by the Vex that somehow broke out of being frozen in time. In this cutscene, it's pretty questionable why Osiris is rocking Dawnblade instead of Sunsinger since he's the OG Warlock Vanguard. But you could just dumb it down to it's Destiny 2. Osiris tries to bail Sagira by sending her through a portal, but she gets shot on her way out, leaving her in the sand. Then we transition to a title card.
Then brought me this.
A dead ghost?
She's not dead. Her name is Sagira.
The Osiris? The most powerful guardian ever. The hero of 6 fronts. The Zavala before Zavala?
Keep this between us. I'd hate to have to throw you off this wall.
That was a joke, right?
That was
a joke.
Yeah. One of Ikora's hidden agents found Sagira's shell on Mercury, meaning that Osiris was in trouble, so as usual it's up to us to go to Mercury. We're immediately greeted by Brother Vance, who is the original vendor of Trials of Osiris in D1. Here's the issue with the followers of Osiris. They're more like cult-like fanatics that Osiris wants nothing to do with than actual followers.
Ikora Ray, Osiris's greatest student.
Brother Vance, Osiris's greatest fan.
Well damn, she didn't need to do him like that. We try to go into the Infinite Forest, but it seems that only Sagira has access to it. We get jumped by Descendant Vex, kill them, and then regroup with Brother Vance as he opens up the lighthouse with this absolute banger of a view. You go to a base where the followers were in order to wake up Sagira, but oops, everybody's dead. After putting her shell in the book, she ends up possessing her ghost for the rest of the campaign.
Whoa! New shell. Who? Did you actually just put me in a strange machine you've never seen before? Who does that?
Yeah, the rest of the campaign. Just in case you couldn't tell it's her, look at the little lights that resemble her shell. Now that you have Sagira, you can explore the Infinite Forest to find Osiris. You're greeted by his reflection, one of the many projections of light he uses to explore the multiple realities within the Infinite Forest. I'll just let him explain it.
Behold, the Infinite Forest. Planet-sized prediction engine, simulating trillions of realities in parallel, all geared towards a single Vex purpose. Keep going. You'll see.
The Vex are simulating reality in here, brute forcing the future. And before you ask, everything in here is real enough to kill you.
Mercury. Untold centuries ago, before the Vex arrived. Here the Vex planted the seed that became the Infinite Forest. And its mind, Panoptes. Panoptes has a single purpose. Reshape reality for the Vex. And only the Vex.
The lighthouse! This is what Osiris saw.
Neither light nor darkness exists anymore. The sun's warmth is gone. All life lost. Nazis, he's found us. No, you're more important than any of us now.
After getting chased out by Panoptes, we go to the Pyramidion to find a map of where Panoptes is. We find nothing, but we get a location of another map inside the Infinite Forest. The mini DLCs had a weird thing where missions in the campaign also got turned into strikes. This was one of them. This whole section right here is all about riding the Sparrow, so if you're not a weirdo like this guy playing, you'd ride your Sparrow the whole way down.
Oh no, you're gonna miss the shot.
He's gonna be worse.
After dealing with the Cabal, you find the map, but it's too difficult to find Panoptes with. You go to Nessus to find some clues which lead you back to the Infinite Forest at the moment in the past when Panoptes was created. Now we have another mission that's also guilty of being turned into a strike. This Cyclops boss not only lasers you, but shoots big balls at death. Once you beat the boss and get the map, Panoptes steals Sagira and kicks us out of the Infinite Forest. Our ghost is back to normal, so we can't go back on our own.
Mercury? How did we get back here? The last... Wait a second. There's something else in here with me. Encoded hollow images. Big ones. Definitely. We need backup. We need Ikora. Good idea, right? You're welcome. Wait, why did I just say that?
With the help of Ikora, she opens the portal long enough for us to go back in. We traverse the Infinite Forest once again and find Panoptes. This is a unique boss fight. It's not so much a shoot it until it dies type of boss. We gotta dunk these arc charges, then Osiris gives you a clear shot at the eye. After doing it 3 times, you finally kill Panoptes. With Panoptes dead, Osiris finally steps out of the Infinite Forest in who knows how many years. This man probably smells like cheeks.
The forest will be open if you ever need to find me, or if you want to talk.
I'd like that.
Come, little light. We have infinite realities to explore, and all the time in the world.
As campaign rewards, Brother Vance gives you an armor piece and Ikora gives you Aeon Cult armor of your respective class. Anyway, you know the drill. Endgame time! The post-game consisted of repeated missions in which you kill the Cabal and Hive. After completing a certain amount of Infinite Forest missions and gaining Sundial weapons, you get a quest. There was a signal in the Infinite Forest. The signal was from Saint 14, who's revered as the greatest Titan who ever lived. At the end of the quest, we're at one final conflux of where the signal originated. There we find the grave of Saint 14. Saint went down fighting a bunch of Vex, but oddly enough, they went out of their way to make a memorial for him.
Thousands of them. Saint 14's light. It's gone.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Osiris, I'm so sorry.
I think we should leave him here. It looks like the Infinite Forest laid him to rest. Built him a memorial. Did the Vex learn to respect him? I don't think I ever told you this, but Saint 14 was one of the first Guardians I ever met. Even before I found you. I always hoped you'd turn out like him. I wasn't disappointed. You were a good friend, Saint. Goodbye.
Wrongly enough, you take his shotgun from him, the perfect paradox. The name will make sense later. Once you've collected all the Sundial weapons, you get Sagira's Ghost Shell, which I do have myself. Rather than full new raids for the mini DLCs, they introduced raid layers, which were sub-raids for the Leviathan. With Curse of Osiris came the Eater of Worlds, which I honestly just thought was the name of the Leviathan since that's what the ship canonically does. Eats worlds, then turns them into juice. Again, Callus got us doing chores since he wants to get rid of a Vex mine that the ship accidentally ate. You shoot the cores, free the mine, then you go and kill the mine. Also, hold the fuck up. That was definitely a Star Wars sound, I swear. Season 2 was the season of the Trace Rifles. Even without the Vex Craniums, everyone was blasting this man with cold heart. After acting as Callus's janitor, Bungie would deliver something to make us all go deaf. This shit was a jump scare to everyone's ears when it played. It had no reason for being as loud as it was. I think most people can agree that the second half of the 2 mini DLCs, Warmind, really redeemed Year 1 Destiny 2. Well, at least in terms of gameplay and activities compared to Curse of Osiris. The story was about the same duration, and its utilization of important characters in Hive lore were poorly executed. The final boss should have at least been a raid boss, but got turned into a one-time mission/strike boss. As of right now, prices are still unchanged.
Oh my god. Play it.
I am playing it. Calm down. You get my fucking stream ready.
Wait, how long is this?
This one's only an hour.
Delicate thing, Guardian.
No.
It's only an hour. You know I skip around in the shooty bits.
In an instant, they're
Tell me
gone.
your
Everything you've
Yeah, shut
sworn
up.
to protect is lost. And all you're left with is
Like a
silence
little
and
bitch.
shadow. And the knowledge that you should have done more. Could we have defeated Gaul if the Traveler hadn't awakened?
Maybe.
And what of the next threat? Or the next? What then?
The next day. The next day.
The Traveler
next
is
day.
awake, and the age of legends is upon us.
Doesn't
In the
sound
shadow of the light, our
Okay,
universe
that's
is
alright.
a beautiful, terrible
I could be
place.
stroking it right now and you guys would never know.
What is wrong with
Where I
you?
once saw miracles, now
I
I
know.
see monsters.
What?
Someone has to. We have to.
I
That's
swear to God, they
what a
love that
guardian
transition so much they use
does.
it twice.
Got cameras everywhere.
Maybe trick question.
True question. Here's Anna Bray.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past.
Apparently her voice actress
That's
got
the
changed.
rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake.
Unfortunately, she loses to a literal robot.
They sought to create peace
Well,
for
like
all
a
humanity,
robot could be considered
which
like
is
Kate.
ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can still
make me
listen to
watch
the
me.
audio.
No, fuck that.
Bro, what's your problem?
Bro, I feel so fucking pregnant right now, man.
My bad.
What?
I should have pulled out.
What?
Bro, you can't set me up like that.
Disregarding every word that came out of Jacob's mouth, we have another Destiny 2 title card. That was Anna Bray, a fabled hunter at the Battle of Six Fronts, as well as the resurrected guardian of Bray tech scientist Anastasia Bray, who worked on the AI Warmind Rasputin. Another byproduct of the awakening of the Traveler came the awakening of Rasputin in the Frozen Hive. You group up with Anna Bray, clear out some Cabal, and she signs in using the credentials of her past life.
Welcome to the Clovis Bridge. I'm picking up a lot of hive activity.
Oh my god, I forgot about those things. I forgot how they work.
Let me try to access
I don't know if you had to shoot him with Polaris Slant. No, you had to shoot him with... Damn, I forgot what those were.
As you get deeper into the facility, Rasputin responds and drops the Valkyrie Javelin on an ogre.
You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it. Hold it, homie. Hold it, please. Knock out the Valkyrie. Hold it.
As you can clearly tell by my complaining, this guy is missing out on the full potential of the weapon by not holding the charge all the way. After clearing out all the hive, Rasputin lets you into the mine lab.
You'll never believe it was already there.
Hello,
Hello,
Guardian.
Guardian.
Oh, shanks.
What do you think you're doing?
That's my
Do
thing.
you have any idea how
What do you
dangerous
think
this
you're
thing is?
What were you trying to do to Rasputin?
Rasputin is Vanguard business, Anastasia, not yours. You do not belong here.
I beg your pardon?
You belonged in the city. But instead of standing by your brothers and sisters when Gaul came for us, you were here.
We should really figure out exactly what's doing that.
I can tell you. Rasputin.
God, I miss Lance Reddick. Anyway, we go to the EDZ to a shard of the Traveler and kill some Taken. Then Rasputin drops a shit ton of javelins from space. Back to Mars, because now it's time to kill Nokris, the heretical, estranged, lost son of Oryx, if you remember that statue in the Taken King. Also, this was another one of those campaign missions turned into strikes. You throw balls to break the crystals to get rid of the shield, then boom, Nokris is dead.
The light.
For the Clovis Spray facility and Rasputin. If Rasputin dies, the Javelin goes...
We do this together. What do you say, Guardian?
We say it's about time.
No, I say it's about time, but I guess I can't speak yet.
The overwhelming darkness from the Hive Worm God Soul knocks us the fuck out, and we gotta cook up an even more powerful Valkyrie to take him down. After shooting these things and overloading the core, we throw a Valkyrie into the core and pick up a new one.
I've never seen anything so powerful. Be careful.
It's zone time.
Now you're not going to get a better sequence than this. As you can see, this man's Dukiao weapons ain't killing nothing, so we gotta use the Javelin. Zol also does a funny thing that turns the floor purple and launches you up. Sometimes it kills, sometimes it doesn't. Damn, this man really had a style on him with the shadow shot finish. With the final hit, Zol crashes down and dies. Also, his body can kill you for under it when it falls. Unfortunately, like I said before, this mission was another victim of being turned into a strike.
A good one.
Speak, Rasputin.
The Bray family shaped me to be an all-seeing savior, while your vanguard sought to wield me as a primitive weapon. But today, that ends. And I define the reality of my own existence. My sight will stretch to the edge of this system and beyond. Never again will a threat go unseen. From this day forward, I will defend humanity on my own terms. I am Rasputin, guardian of all I survey. I have no equal.
Those John adding me. Why are you adding?
What have we done?
Don't worry. We've got this.
Campaign's over. Exotic time, baby! With the Nascent Dawn quest comes the Polaris Lance Scout Rifle. You start off with the legendary version, the Braytech RWP Mark II, go interact with some Seraph nodes, then boom, exotic. Of course you got another exotic too, the returning fusion rifle from D1, the Sleeper Simulant, which now falls under the category of a linear fusion rifle. Luckily you don't have to do 3 war sats on 3 different planets. There was also the escalation protocol activity where you go through waves of Hive and one of the 3 final bosses. After fully completing 7 waves, you got 3 shaders and a chance of an Iculus weapon. Come on, you know the drill now. Raid layer time. Spire starts. It's all about throwing balls. You know what? I've only run this once in my whole life. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on. Valkor attempts to take over the Leviathan, tries to blow you up with the Callus Bot. You throw balls, deal damage, final stand, throw more balls, he's dead. That's it. Yeah. Hold up, we ain't done yet. We got another secret mission called the Whisper. The only way to start it then was to kill this Taken boss that only spawned during the Taken Blight public event on Io, then go through the portal that spawns after. It would start you off in the Lost Sector Grove of Ulan-Tan. You'd have 20 minutes to complete this mission. You go through a secret tunnel, go through a jumping puzzle that would kill you like in King's Fall, then go through another secret tunnel because everything else will kill you. Homie right here is doing it the long way, but that was before anyone figured out the shortcut. Finally, you go through 3 rooms of Taken, kill all the bosses, and get the Whisper the Worm exotic sniper rifle, which is the Destiny 2 version of the Black Spindle from Destiny 1, which is the exotic version of the Black Hammer. Despite Bungie repeating its year 1 mistakes of Destiny 1, it was time to deliver a real banger. There's one thing Bungie loves, it's a comeback. They absolutely nailed it with Forsaken. We had some major and big changes. A new super for every subclass, special ammo got added back, so if you really wanted to, you could run 3 shotguns. We had a new bow weapon type, and a new game mode, Gambit, that was a combination of PvE and PvP. In playtesting, it was peak. At launch, it was peak. However, over time it got hated more and more. The sentiment is understood though. I was very iffy with Gambit, and it seemed like every year there was a hella oppressive exotic that was always used by invaders. Games used to be best of 3 back then, which would feel agonizing if you absolutely despised this game mode, but I digress. Prices, people, prices! With Forsaken, I have now dropped another 40 bones. I am now at $255 spent, and you're still at $20, you lucky bastard. Well, lucky and unlucky because you don't get to experience this game anymore, and you didn't get your soul and wallet sucked by Bungie.
I don't know, like, what you're doing.
I launched a different game, but I guess I can get off this.
Only if you want to.
The stream killed itself before it even started.
It really doesn't matter to me.
You gotta watch
I'm
Kate
going
die,
to bed
Jacob.
at a normal time tonight.
You gotta watch Kate die.
Oh. That was your sister.
We're not at that part yet. You gotta watch it.
That was no, that's literally his last words.
We're not at that part yet. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wow, nice fucking spoiler, bro.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Destiny's ruined for me now.
Did Kate die?
Yeah, whatever, man.
6.
How many years ago? Yeah, 6 years ago?
6,
My
bro.
bad.
Sigma.
That's like being pissed because you got spoiled from the fucking Titanic, bro.
Jacob, you never answered this.
Sinks.
Are you a Sigma male or a Smegma male?
This is going to hurt. A lot. Any last words?
How's everybody's day going?
Shh. It's about to happen.
Your sister.
Oh, he said the thing. He said the thing. Destiny 2 Forsaken.
Join.
Oh my god, he's still rocking the hunter.
Petra, Venge. Thanks for the invite. What you packing for this party?
The usual.
Ooh, do the thing. Seriously, watch this. That'll never not freak me out. Do it again.
Later.
Now let's go to prison!
We're in prison, Jacob. We're in prison. Oh, you wanted to enjoy the story normally? Go watch Bife. Speaking of Bife, mini lore drop. Varix from Destiny 1 started a prison break in the prison of elders, which is why we're here with Kate 6 and Petra Bench. Yeah, I think she loves field work.
Took
As you can see, this is absolutely the most insane prison ride. We got Cabal, Fallen, and Hive tearing everything up. After Cade catches a ride on the shank, we rendezvous in this control hub that's falling apart, and Cade goes ham on all these buttons.
I do. How do you not have a hammer? What?
Because I don't need it. Why would I need one?
What are you, dumb?
I have the fucking
What are
ponage
you,
hammer.
dumb?
I doubt that fucking counts. Bone hammer.
Yes, oh, never mind.
Of course, pressing everything doesn't work, so he goes with old reliable. Shoot shit till it works. Now that the Petra goes to check on the cells to later realize that this wasn't just a normal riot.
Knight's Edge, and I got Excalibur.
No. Cade, he's gone. This isn't a prison riot.
It's a prison break.
break.
Cade, being the goat that he is, speedruns a shortcut down while waving at Petra. Of course, an explosion that big is enough to kill him, and he gets resurrected by his ghost. He quickly realizes that he's surrounded by a new enemy called the Scorn that I'll explain later. Despite the odds and numbers, the man stands on business, clowning on all these Scorn, but immediately gets jumped. Then, for the first time ever, Cade shows off the new super in Forsaken called the Blade Barrage. However, this new ability is not enough, because as soon as Cade tries to heal up with his ghost, one of the Scorn Barons takes aim and fires. As light explodes everywhere, we realize this shit is for real. Our boy Cade was about to die. No heals, no abilities, and no res. Cade puts his hood back on and aims with the Ace of Spades just to immediately get put through a wall. Back to our perspective as the Guardian, we finally come across the Scorn ourselves. These nasty guys are Fallen who are resurrected by Dark Ether, which is a power bestowed upon Fikro, leader of the Scorn, who got it from Riven, a Nam Kara, a witch dragon who was taken by Orcs after he blew up Mars. You know what? We'll get there when we get there. These even nastier looking exploding boys are called Screeb, which will definitely catch you off guard in numbers. As we get closer to Cade, we feel the light of Cade's ghost, and our ghosts realize he's cooked. We then come across this big abomination slamming on the door. After killing it, we encounter Uldren, who mocks us after he just shot Cade. We would hear his true last words to Ikora and Zavala as the light faded from his eyes. Petra had even worse timing with their 3 to 5 business day arrival.
He had the worst jokes. Even worse timing. I wanted to laugh. I really did. Do you hear me? All of us. Every Titan, every Warlock, every Hunter. We will take the Reef by storm.
Not an army. We are not conquerors. We are guardians. We need to keep our eyes here. On our home, our people, the Traveler. The Reef was lost the moment it lost its queen. I refuse to bury any more friends.
You won't have to. Uldren Sov is mine.
He speaks.
Hey yo, what the fuck? That's right, the first time since the base campaign in 2014, our Guardian finally speaks. We speak with Banshee, who tells us to put Uldren in the ground and reclaim the Ace of Spades. Zavala warns us that if we were to seek vengeance for Cade, we would do so alone with no backup. And Ikora informs us of the visions she's been receiving from the Traveler and encourages us to pursue any signs we may see from it. I remember when I went into Orby right after this. I just sat there. As if somehow right on cue, this would start playing. Guardian down. An appropriate name, but salt in the wound. Cade was actually gone. I knew this was going to happen since the E3 teaser in June, but damn. Actually, all the vendors had something to say about Cade's death. His death really shook the solar system. It even made Failsafe cry!
Because I'm fine.
Anecdote. As the AI of Exodus Black, I experienced the death of every single one of my crew members. I hypothesize that the more loss one has suffered, the easier subsequent losses become. Field research has proven my hypothesis false. Losing Cade makes me feel I feel terrible.
Go. Unleash upon the fallen chaos.
By your grace, Father.
Love is fleeting, but devotion. Now that is forever. Not one of them has ever shown more strength of devotion than you, my dear brother. The Awoken cannot be trusted. You and I know that better than...
Huh? Mara Sov? I thought she was dead after the Taken King. Tweakrun Sov lets all the Scorn loose on the tangled shore in the reef and sets fire to the throne of the late Queen of the Awoken.
Let
Fallen would fit right in.
That's a collectible.
We need to search the
Ikora told us Cade's killers are skulking about the Tangled Shore.
Pick it up,
It's
motherfucker.
not
Hold
much of a
X.
lead to the creatures we fought in the prison of
They all
Elders.
come from one mod.
They're spreading.
Oh shit, it's the Scorn.
By some miracle of luck, we're already encountering all Scorn Barons at once, but Fickrel calls us out and says we're on some weak shit.
It's literally all the way down to the bottom. And then find other
Oh
mods
damn,
here.
fallen homies.
Our backup are fallen.
Racist.
Oh, did I forget to mention?
Whoa! How do you know?
This man doesn't like aliens. Ghost
I don't
doesn't.
get this.
Ghost doesn't like aliens apparently.
How different is that?
Shine your shoes, Guardian. You're about to meet the spider.
The spider.
The solar system. What brings you to my home away from home? Away from home. On the run, are we? Sorry. But I can't help but feel like it is I who will come up short. It's true. I know where Aldrin and his barren scheme. You go, Scrat. Do we have a deal?
Deal.
This big, tubby, and hefty Fallen is a mob boss known as the Spider. He covets lost trinkets from humanity's golden age, and loves playing with ghost shells like they're fidgets and Rubik's Cubes. Petra awards us with the very first bow of Destiny 2. While the Tangled Shore was still in the game, Spider would act as its vendor with all kinds of bounties and resource materials. He makes us complete 5 bounties before continuing the campaign. Petra was absolutely ready to unload on that man, but we cut a deal with him to let him continue his operations in the Tangled Shore for the location of the Barrens. We first engage with the Rifleman, and our boy is showing off some gameplay with the bow. The Scorn seem to have their own version of everything. This Scorn Walker would shoot a crazy barrage of missiles, then produce a barrier after breaking one of its legs, making you have to get up close and personal to destroy it. Next up was the Hangman, one of my personal faves of the Barons. After finally catching up to the Fanatic, we kill his Fanatic, and of course, he escapes.
Well, you really showed them, didn't you? Piece of advice, eh? Know your enemy before you deal with them. Rexisvan, the Hangman. A silent sadist used to dock the arms of dregs with its bare hands. Cannix, the mad bomber, emphasis on mad. Demolitions expert with an irritating way about him. The trickster, a Raskis. A liar and a schemer. Friendly advice. Trust nothing she touches. Hyrax, the mind bender, has a rep for manipulation. Has a morbid obsession with the Hive. Yavix, aka the Rider, leader of a bombastic gang of pike-riding heathens. They sow chaos everywhere they ride. The Rifleman, Pirha, the only fallen alive who can make the shot that mortalized Cade 6. Elikris, the Machinist, scourge of soulless descent. This one sits atop a trove of tech, heavy armament stolen from me.
Skill issue.
The Fanatic himself, Fickrel, the leader of the Barons and the first of the Scorn. His dark magic has no place on my shore. No place. Last, and most certainly least, Aldrin Sov, traitor to his people, and the man who pulled the trigger. He may be in the wind, but his barons are ripe for the picking. Divide, conquer, isolate Aldrin. He'll wind up at your feet. And all you have to do is pull the trigger.
The Spider clowned on us because we really thought we were him. We instead had to go after the Barons one by one. When I played this campaign for the first time in 2018, I really wanted to savor it, so I only did about 2 Baron missions a day. When it comes to Destiny, that really isn't the route you're supposed to go, since you want to get to the endgame content as soon as possible. First up was Yavix, the Rider. I know we'll probably never see this Scorn Pike again in modern Destiny 2, but using this thing and the Pike 1v1 was absolutely peak. Next up was the Trickster, and holy shit, is that an exotic engram trap? Nah, it's a bomb. We use these engram bombs to blow up the Trickster's bomb factory, follow her into her hideout which had heavy ammo brick traps, then finally take her down. Speaking of bombs, next was the Mad Bomber. He first gives us a gift of living bombs with screams. He then throws some purple bombs of his own, and of course he starts dropping these mines everywhere, aka the worst thing in the Prison of Elders. You thought you'd be defusing just one, but then there's another, and another, and another. We take down the Mad Bomber, but of course, you have to defuse another bomb! If you were paying attention to the drops that were gathered earlier, the Visions of Light, after collecting enough of them, you had the opportunity to do the mission to unlock one of the 3 new supers. We return to Io, again the last place the Traveler touched. Light explodes from the cradle, that area you see in the front. After interacting with these trees, the Traveler gives us more cryptic message before rewarding us with the Seed of Light.
Congratulations, Guardian.
Oops.
Don't do it. No, pick another one. Pick another one. No, pick another one. It's too late. They already decided. It's over.
Much to my disagreement, our player chooses Spectral Blades and gets to playtest their new super against the Taken. Back to the campaign, because now we're fighting the Hangman. He's pretty straightforward, just swinging and slamming at you, but you can't lie, this is scary when he's charging at you. We take him down and move on to the Hive-obsessed Mind Bender. With this purple device, he could easily control the minds of the Hive. Once we encounter him, he flees into a Hive portal into the Ascended Plane. Holy Jesus, this boy got big. With the death of Cade 6, he was able to make his own throne world, but that was not enough to stop us as we were able to put him in the ground anyway. On to the Rifleman, starting from a kind of crow's nest? On top of being a sniper, his gimmick was having decoys that could also deal damage to us. Also, just listen to how fire his track is. Easily right up there with Fanatics.
Hello, potion lady. Sell me your potions.
Jacob, you should use the gender swap potion.
No.
No.
You're gonna say it like that? Fuck no.
You should do it in real life.
But I wish, bro.
What are you talking about?
When I'm a woman, all the homies hit. I'm gonna be the biggest slut in Toledo.
That's it, Jacob. You're cooked. You're cooked.
Whoops.
That I do.
You'll be the biggest one in Toledo.
Oh no, bro.
That's going in the video. I don't care. That's going in the video.
Nah.
It's over.
It's fucking over, bro.
It's over.
Let's get back on track. In this final area, you can really see how overwhelming and crowded it gets with all these rifleman decoys. The man simply couldn't hide forever and was swiftly dealt with via Spectral Blades. Nah, doesn't go as hard as Nova Bomb.
Oh shit, cutscene.
For whatever reason, these normal Elixni, not Scorn, are just chilling with Uldren. As a being constructed of both light and dark forces, he interacts with the Shard of the Traveler, gets a shard from the Shard of the Traveler, and Petra misses the one shot she had ages to set up. I don't care if his hallucination of his sister told him to dodge, bro barely turned his head and she missed that shit. Insane fumble, Petra! Now there were only 2 Barons left, the Machinist and the Fanatic. Rather than being adventures like the other Barons, they would be full-on individual campaign missions. This one would start out as a tank mission, and there's nothing better than a tank mission. After destroying all the ether tanks, we find and kill the Machinist, leaving just the Fanatic.
Oh no, darkness lives here. Death, you are not of ether. Can't bring you back.
All the same.
Yes, Father.
And suffered uncountable betrayals. You were humiliated, imprisoned, manipulated, taken, and still you gave up everything because you love. Please, brother, will you walk through hell for me one last time?
You enjoyed killing them.
Oh shit, it's big bro.
Dance where you belong.
Till we killed them all.
The scorn.
With Fickrel's death, that was all the Barons taken out. But that wasn't truly the end of his story.
No one has stood where you are since the Queen closed these doors. Welcome home, cousin.
After beating the Fanatic, we enter the Watchtower to face Uldren Sov. The current character being played is an Awoken Hunter, so when Petra says, "Welcome home, cousin," that's dialogued exclusively for Awoken characters. This place was crawling with Taken, and Uldren was looking a little taken himself.
You've no idea how fortunate you are to be my chosen.
Oh wait, never mind, he's back to normal again.
You brave, devoted, pathetic fool. Thank you.
Uldren was actually being manipulated this whole time by Riven, the witch dragon I mentioned way earlier. After he got vored, we had to fight this giant tentacle meatball, which took me several years to realize this was actually a Taken servitor. After beating the Siren of Riven, it was now time for Uldren to pay for his misdeeds.
How's your sister?
And if she was, this would be a whole lot
Dude, this
easier.
is never mind.
So-
What he's gonna say? This is the Guardian.
This is to be a reckoning. What would the notorious Cade 6 do? You have his gun. Seems you get the last word.
The last word. The hand cannon.
Everything I
Is this-
did.
Is his
I
hand
did
cannon actually called the
for
last
her.
word?
No, it's the Ace of Spades. It's a different hand cannon. Oh.
Funny. The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Remember that line. Remember that line.
Do you
A
know which
reference to
side
Shadowkeep or
you're
whatever the fuck
on?
that is.
Remember that line.
Isn't Shadowkeep the one with light and dark abilities?
Beyond light.
Oh, never mind. He's gonna spare him because Disney lore.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Never mind. Are you streaming this, bro?
I
Who's
mean,
watching this?
it's part of the experience, you know? It's part of the experience. Because as a new player of Destiny that's going to be doing this for the first time, this is unplayable content. So there's no other way that they could access this now. It's not in the game anymore. So the only way they'd be able to do it
DLCs out of
is
the
like
game is fucking retarded.
It is. Okay, you know what I'm
Why would
thinking?
they do
They're gonna bring it back. I'm thinking they're gonna bring it back.
Just make Destiny 3 at that point, bro. Don't.
They
just
should have with
gameplay
Beyond
content.
Light. Beyond Light was practically Destiny 3. So
We returned to the tower after killing Aldrin, but is left ambiguous as to who actually fired the last shot. Was it us? Was it Petra? Was it both of us? It didn't matter. We abandoned our position as guardians of humanity to pursue revenge. Banshee would thank us for recovering the Ace of Spades, but it needed to be repaired. Zavala would scold us for what I had said earlier about us pursuing vengeance, but Ikora would thank us on behalf of her and Zavala for avenging their friend and rewarded us with the Memory of Cade class item, depending on your class. Now, what I love most about Forsaken is that once you finish the campaign, the story wasn't over. Petra gives you the Vestian Dynasty sidearm from D1 and a broken awoken talisman. You had to open 3 caches in 3 different lost sectors, bring it back to Spider, kill a bunch of Taken, bring it back to Spider again, and then do the Ether Ritual public event to unlock the next mission. You return back to the Watchtower where the last campaign mission was, and go through the portal to unlock the Dreaming City. Okay, I know that the Dreaming City and its raid are still in the game, but for the sake of story, it's being included in the video.
Queen Mara left me with 3 orders. Protect our people. Hide our secrets. Believe in the plan. I have protected. I have hidden. I have believed. Now I want answers. I want to know what drove Uldren to madness. I want to kill whatever evil has crept into the Dreaming City. And most of all, I want to see my queen again. I want to know that she lives.
Something pulled Uldren to the Watchtower. Petra came here to find answers, and she asked you to watch her.
Not long after exploring a bit, we encountered Taken witches, but not like the usual Taken wizards you normally see. We get transported into the Ascendant Plane and find this ball of light, Tolan.
Why would you come here? There is no place less suited for the likes of you. You're playing right into our hands. Leave the Dreaming City while you still can.
The "you're playing right into her hands" could have meant Riven or potentially another Hive god we get to know all too well in the future. We met Petra at the Oracle that would let her communicate with Queen Mara Sov, but it needed an offering that we get from the Scorn boss. Mara Sov's death was clearly greatly exaggerated, and she'd now opened the Dreaming City to the Guardians so that we could kill Riven. For the Ace of Spades quest, it starts off with you killing 5 invaders in Gambit. You didn't have to invade and get those kills, you had to wait for an invader to show up and kill them with the hand cannon. At least that's how it was for the first week until Bungie thought, wait, no, that's too hard. Let's just make them get any kills in Gambit. For the more casual player, this was a good change, but if you had already made progress prior to the change, they'd scale it based on how many kills you already had. You might think if you had 4 kills already, you'd be at 80% and just need to get the remaining percentage. Nope! You just went from 80% to 4%! After you eventually get all those kills again, if you needed to restart, you kill some Fallen, then loot Cade's caches hidden on the EDZ, Io Nessus, and the Tangled Shore. The last testament and mission to Cade's will was the Ace in the Hole mission. He left 10 caches around for people who believed would kill him. There was one for Eris, Tanix, the Drifter, Petra.
Oh shit.
If the sun
over Nessus escapes nebulous cycle, evac labor after dawn under solstice.
You got that, PB?
It's on Enceladus! I don't know what that means.
The minds behind the Deepstone Crypt, who created the Exos, even Hawthorne oddly enough. Then there was a generalized for any hunter that killed Cade, since his Vanguard dare would unfortunately push the duties of Hunter Vanguard to whichever hunter that killed him, who he assumed would be Marcus Wren. Another 2 would be for Zavala and Ikora, and the last one is actually dedicated to us. Regardless of the circumstances, he was actually going to give us Ace of Spades personally if we had killed him and told us to burn the papers found in the caches that detailed to his previous 6 lives, Cade's 0 through 5. We return to Banshee and are finally rewarded with the Ace of Spades hand cannon. One of my personal favorite Crucible exotics, the Chaperone shotgun, returned to D2. The quest had a random chance of being obtained after every Crucible match completion. You started out getting 20 shotgun kills, then you needed to get progress for Arc, Solar, and Void kills. This part would have you lose progress every time you died like the OG quest, except you weren't restricted to only using the last word. Finally, you get 15 Guardian kills in Gambit, and you'd be rewarded the Chaperone, which I'd always love to say Roadhouse after every kill. Going back to Gambit, every primeval boss had a chance of being the Taken meatball. If your team successfully killed it in that round, you would get a Seething Heart, starting a new quest line. Drifter would then send you to the Dreaming City to kill Taken mini bosses and bosses. Then you'd do a mission version of the Corrupted Strike and kill a Taken Phalanx boss. Of course, your job isn't done yet since you had to go back to good old Gambit. You had to bank those motes, get 10 wins, and then you had to get Guardian kills. Once you did all that, you finally got the Malfeasance hand cannon. My biggest beef with Destiny as an Xbox player was the PlayStation exclusives that came with Bungie's partnership with Activision. There would be exclusive weapons as well as exclusive strikes on the PS4 up until 2019.
This competitive side of it that's really, really fascinating. And there's a lot of strategy in that game.
Hammer off the wall.
No idea.
Got him. Nice. Sending 2 Forsaken. We got a look at the Wave Splitter, which is the PlayStation exclusive new exotic
Wait,
trace
Wave
rifle.
Splitter was a
Lots of
PlayStation
fun.
exclusive? What is wrong with that?
PlayStation exclusive too. I think we're actually wearing the PlayStation exclusive gear sets too, right?
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Can I take a
Everything
quick
they
look
have
at
on
this?
is PlayStation exclusive.
Got it.
Alright, this is like uncharted territory for me.
What are you fucking...
It's when I did
Something wrong.
when I did Calamity, like I got bored at this
Is
point.
there something
so I
wrong? Is
No.
there
No.
is there something wrong? Are you just wondering why
Don't do
this-
something.
What do you mean? He's just been fucking making noises, bro.
If you really okay, hold on. Let me all right, let me just fucking play it. There we go.
If you're wondering why I was making that noise and what it was the shell of what was from the Forsaken soundtrack that you're hearing right now. In the Warden of Nothing, you basically got to relive the classic Prison of Elders, but I swear they messed with the treasure room fall. You used to be able to do this all in one shot, but they got the scaling all wrong when they brought it over into D2. In this mostly looted treasure room, you got your final prize, which is a trap left by the Trickster. You'd fall down to the final boss, which is Varric's servitor that would show up in between rounds in the OG Prison of Elders. Every now and then, it would heat up the whole room and you'd have to hide to avoid getting cooked to death.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let's just making fucking noises, bro.
I'm not making noises. I'm not making noises. Do I have to do this again, Jacob? Do I have to do this again? There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not crazy, Jacob. I told you I'm not crazy.
Like I said before, Fikrul's story wouldn't end in the campaign. The Fanatic was functionally immortal like the Guardians and could resurrect himself at any given time. Canonically, every time he brought himself back to life, we'd have to pull up to the Tingle Shore and kill him again. I think this was truly the only strike that would have a story reason for you to play it over and over. I always thought the part where he slowly dragged everyone in and you had to shoot his shield was peak. With the Fanatic dead again, it was on to the Corrupted strike. If you remember all the Techians we came across when we first came into the Dreaming City, Petra wanted us to free one of them named Sadia. The core mechanic of the strike was this purple ball. If you played hot potato with this ball and kept passing around like these guys, it would actually charge it. You throw these balls at the Taken that had shields, kill a Taken Ogre and a normal Ogre. Exploring further in the tower finally led you to Sadia. You break her shield with balls twice. We're supposed to be freeing her, but I guess shooting her with guns and supers doesn't necessarily kill her. After freeing Sadia, it's finally time to do the Last Wish raid and kill Riven. Honestly wish I experienced it in its early days, but I avoided raids left and right since I didn't have a personal fire team and thought LFG groups were too elitist if you didn't know what to do. Callie was pretty easy since she's the first boss and encounter of the raid. You'd stand on the right plates, gun her down, hide before she wiped you, then rinse and repeat. The next boss was Shuro Chi, then you'd kill the nasty Taken Ogre Morgat, the Spire Keeper. Huh. That's already 3 bosses, but we're only about 60% into the raid. Next up was the Vault, the true run killer of Day 1 Last Wish, but to this day I still can't explain it. Finally, it was time to drop down and face Riven of 1,000 Voices, the last Ahamkara. Speaking of not being able to explain things, I have never done Riven legit, but maybe one day I will. From my understanding, each side would have teams of 3 pop Taken Essence on a specified symbol, deal a little bit of damage in her mouth, and shoot the corresponding eyes that glowed when she appeared on the other side. If you didn't shoot the right eyes or all of the eyes in time, she would wipe everyone. You drop down again and pop the pimples all around Riven's body. Now let me just say something before this fight is over. The fact that they decided to not include Riven's theme in the soundtrack on Spotify is criminal. It's too amazing of a track to be left out. Just listen to this. This shit is peak! Once she got low enough, you get to her final stand. No eyes, just shoot her in the mouth. But when she went down, it wasn't over. You had to go in her mouth and shoot her heart. Even then, it still wasn't over. You had to take Ribbon's heart through the Queen's Walk. The heart would randomly choose someone in the fire team to carry it, and everyone had to stay in proximity to avoid dying, but not too close as it would teleport the person carrying it and anyone who was next to them every 15 seconds. After successfully making it through the Queen's Walk, you were obligated to DPS the heart at the end. You could turn in a key at any of the chests for a chance of getting the 1000 Voices Heavy Fusion Rifle. And just like that, that was the last wish, but that wasn't it. Ribbon had put a curse on the Dreaming City that would spread the Taken corruption and have it forced on a loop every 3 weeks. Petra would blame herself for ordering the attack on Ribbon and ultimately having her use her last wish. Technically, this was the Hive God and Witch Queen Savathun's one of 2 last wishes. Actually, there were a whole series of alleged 15 wishes that could be found in the Dreaming City that could be used in the Wish Wall in the raid. It'd be a whole bunch of stuff like encounter checkpoints, starting the Petra's Run Flawless mode, or putting the Drifter and Failsafe into your head commentating the raid like Cortana. But nobody found the true 15th wish, so it'd be a mystery if it actually existed for years to come. No matter! We still had work to do in the Dreaming City. The first mission, Broken Courier, had us retrieve awoken artifacts from an awoken courier who was injured by the Hive. Even though her ship came to pick her up when we got to Sadia, I was honestly unsure of whether or not she survived her injuries. You kill the Taken Meatball, and then that's the end of the mission. Week 2's mission would be the Oracle Engine, which also had a banger track in the boss fight. I honestly don't remember the story to this one other than killing 2 Taken Ogre bosses. Week 3's final mission, the Dark Monastery, had us go to the Ascendant Plane and destroy this crystal, hoping that we'd get closer to breaking the curse in the Dreaming City. Every 3rd week on the curse rotation, if you brought an offering to the Oracle, you'd actually get to meet Mara herself. Another thing, back then, the Shattered Throne dungeon, the first dungeon in Destiny 2, could only be started if you went to this portal in the Dreaming City on the same 3rd week. Dungeons were essentially 3-man mini-raids. They weren't too complicated mechanically that prevented you from soloing the whole thing, but they were still difficult enough to recommend at least another player join you if you're inexperienced. If you remember that Awoken Talisman we put together way back before unlocking the Dreaming City, you actually turn it into the statue of Jiraido, the first Queen's Wrath, right here, which will be important for another upcoming exotic quest. The last boss, Duel Karu, was honestly a total pushover. 3 buffs from the Knights was enough to one-phase her with ease. Even solo, she's a pretty easy one-phase. You'd interact with this ball of light, kill 3 Taken bosses in a room, and you get 3 tokens you'd have to use in the Shattered Throne. You dunk these ball at statues, missing a ball, kill a Taken boss to awaken your tokens, then return to Shiraido's statue again to receive the Wish Ender exotic bow. After several weeks of meeting with Queen Mara, she'd eventually leave to who knows where out in the universe, but there was a cutscene left for us to watch. Uldren Sov would be resurrected as a guardian, but this would not come into play for some time. This is kind of an odd one now, but I thought it was a necessary exotic quest to include in this video. This quest was exclusively during the Festival of Lost, Destiny's Halloween event in 2018. The Cryptarch from the Reef named Ides was killed and massacred by Fallen. They were clues to obtaining his last engram. We go to this Fallen teleporter, which brought us to the Cosmodrome in its Rise of Iron state. Keep in mind, at this time, the Cosmodrome wasn't in D2. So this was peak nostalgia as the Rise of Iron OST played throughout this mission. After killing all the Fallen and getting one last good look at the Cosmodrome, we talk to Amanda Holiday again, get Ives Ingram, and decrypt it to the Thunderlord exotic machine gun. Believe it or not, this was actually the first machine gun in Destiny 2. With this new exotic in our arsenal, we'd soon be able to add many more new weapons to our collection. In order to prevent a content drought like there was in Taken King, Bungie went a different route. They introduced the Seasons and launched another set of 3 mini DLCs, Black Armory, Joker's Wild, and Penumbra. I guess mini expansions? I'm not sure what to call them. Either way, they released the Forsaken Annual Pass for another $35. Bleh. Anyway, our totals are now at my $290 to yours still $20. Anyway, we talk to the spider and get a key that opens up a new area in the Tower Annex, giving us access to the Black Armory. We're checking out all the sweet weapon frames, but we're quickly met with the fiery hostility of a new exo baddie by the name of 801. She doesn't fuck with Guardians, but since we flashed our bags, she realized we were that guy and opened the Black Armory to us. First, we had to reactivate the Black Forges. This activity would have us throwing batteries, killing bosses, and getting that sweet loot. There were a total of 4 forges, the first being the Valender Forge in the EDZ, 2 forges on Nessus, Gofen, and Izanami, and the last forge, Bergusia, that was unlocked after the Niobe Labs puzzle was solved, and Civics, who killed Ada 1's mother, was also killed. Honestly, I think my timeline on this is out of order. As much as I wanted to present things chronologically in terms of release, I think the raid technically came before Bergusia and Niobe Labs, but whatever. Raid time. I find it funny they designed an enemy that's actually impossible to kill alone. It's actually unkillable unless at least 2 people hit it from the front and the back. Killing the Berserker would drop a battery which you dunked to actually start off the raid. It showed a map of the next Berserker you needed to kill and where you needed to dunk the batteries. Next up was the Sparrow race, which was a funny little segment. Then you grab a tank to shoot the mech in the middle that the raid boss Insurrection Prime was piloting. This raid was pretty similar to Axis and Wrath of the Machine because this portion was just one part of the battle. After dunking another battery, it was time to fight the Insurrection Prime for real. I get that this video is them doing the raid is when the raid was fresh, but this feels like a very unconventional way of doing DPS. I have a question for you guys though. Is it cap or ACP? After beating the boss, you get your loot with a chance of getting the Anarchy Heavy Exotic Grenade Launcher. There was yet another exotic quest to get from Ada. It was a series of fetch quests. You had to run the Leviathan raid and kill Watchers in the Underbelly, complete activities to get 200 Glimmering Amethyst, get an Obsidian Crystal if you were lucky enough to already have a rare Black Army bounty, kill Duel and Karu again for an Ascendant Glass Shard, and run a special version of the Pyramidion Strike. You go back to Ada 1 and get the Izanagi's Burden Exotic Sniper Rifle. If you thought we were done with exotic quests, here's yet another from the Drifter. Esoteric's guide is just doing my work for me, but I'll just regurgitate what you can clearly read. Kill 75 Hive with Solar, 3 Hive bosses, and pick up 75 tablets. Kill Guardians in the Crucible. Do a submission stopping a Hive ritual, get 15 Etched Crystals, 25 medals in the Crucible, 50 Hive larvae, and complete 3 heroic Hive ritual public events. Once you did all that, it was time for the last mission, the Conversation. You would do an old school western duel against Enkar, the Weapon Master, 3 times and finally be rewarded the Last Word Exotic Hand Cannon. After doing the side quests in the Niobe Labs and all the forges, you present Ada 1 with an Obsidian Accelerator. Mini lore drop! This would unlock Ada's true capabilities since she was more than just another exoframe. She was a mobile black armory forge designed by her mother, and that, in my opinion, was the concluding scene of the Season of the Forge. Just like she banked that upgrade into herself, it was time for us to bank those motes. This was absolutely not the season for you if you were a Gambit hater. Choker's Wild, or the Season of the Drifter, was heavily Gambit based with some sprinkles of the 9. We had 2 new activities, Gambit Prime and the Reckoning, that would tie into each other. Gambit Prime was a new, quicker form of Gambit that was only 1 round, and you could have unique abilities depending on your armor. These armors would present new roles, Invader, Reaper, Sentry, and Collector. These names were pretty self-explanatory. The thing is, you had to obtain and rank up these armors from Illicit to Outlawed, and the max rank Notorious to utilize the full potential of a role. The thing is, the only way you got these armors was from the Reckoning. See how they tie in now? The Reckoning would have 3 tiers, with tier 3 being the highest, hardest, and most rewarding. You'd fight a bunch of taken enemies, and even have a chance to fight an likeness of orcs as a boss. Ayo, what? Anyway, story time? There's not really much of a campaign we're working with here. The 9 show us a vision of the Drifter playing cars with an unnamed regent.
Someone like you? I know you all keep tabs on me.
Yeah. You've been straying. Red. You don't even use his name.
Like a Tame Impala album, the less I know the better.
Gambit is a chance at salvation. Take it.
He aims Thorn at him, ready to take him out, but he quickly gets swatted by a taken Captain Drifter spawn in. The 9 would give him a gift that was basically how he was able to start Gambit with the thing attached to his ship. Drifter warns us to keep our distance from the 9 and ignore any signs or visions they give us. We'd of course ignore his warnings and dig deeper. The emissary would invite us to hear her conversations with the 9, as well as the interactions she had with Drifter as her past and present self. In the past, she was a guardian of the Pilgrim Guard named Orin. She got to know Drifter, but the more she knew about his past, his multiple identities, and his deceptions, she and him fought, and then she sought after the 9 and became their emissary. The 9 gave Drifter visions of the approaching pyramids of the Black Fleet to prepare him. The emissary would part with him and give him a word of advice. Keep banking those motes! Nah, it was the Black Fleet again. After learning everything you know, Drifter presented you with a choice. It was him or the Vanguard. This action had consequences. Drifter would either call you a snitch or praise you as his brother/sister depending on your guardian's gender. Regardless of who you sided with, you got to hear recordings of Drifter's life in the Dark Age. Seeing the abuse of the light with warlords deterred him from ever becoming a true guardian. He plays both sides, as he says. Actually, if you did pick Drifter's side, you get to see Galley and Spider's Black Market. They really wanted to jingle the keys right here since it wasn't and still isn't possible to hold 20 exotic Ingrams in your inventory. Now, I know you remember seeing Thorn in that cutscene. Now it's time to claim our own, starting with this pile of ashes. You start off either doing bounties for Asher on Io, killing Warlocks in Crucible, or doing Nightfall Strikes. Just like in D1, you had to get void kills in the Crucible, and deaths would set you back. Then you had to run a special version of Savathun's song, and you'd be rewarded Thorn after killing the boss. Exotic quest, but this was a secret exotic quest. After finding this fallen transponder on Titan and then finding the 6 nodes, you'd meet with Mithrax at the farm. Mithrax was actually the captain who was canonically spared by us back in the Enemy My Enemy questline. When you interact with him, you go back to the OG tower and have 20 minutes to finish the 0-hour mission. You'd fight a boss named Cyrix loyal to Aramis. After Mithrax dips from a job well done, we are rewarded with not the Outbreak Prime, but the Outbreak Perfected. This would eventually get brought back to D2 with Into the Light. This season had no cutscenes or real story moves, but it had an absolute banger of an activity. In Season of Opulence, or Penumbra, Emperor Callus would open his menagerie to the Guardians so that we could yet again grow fat from strength. The true purpose of this was to select a Shadow, an elite from each race loyal to Callus out of the Guardians. This was a 6-player activity with a series of challenges you had to complete. They even included the Gauntlet from the Leviathan raid into the mix. You were timed during each challenge, and if you failed to complete it before the elapsed time, you'd be sent to the Mockery and forced to fight the Hive and dunk stolen light balls. You'd fight a random boss once the bar was completely filled, and once it was killed, you'd get your rewards in weapons and runes. Using the main item of the season, the Chalice of Opulence, you'd insert runes in order to determine your future rewards. Seasons of Opulence had some pretty iconic weapons, including the beloved Sniper, Austringer hand cannon, and the Drang Baroque sidearm. Okay, so quick update, because I just learned this, but apparently now the Leviathan is in Destiny Rising, the mobile game, but they can't bring it back to the base game, of course, because why the hell would they bring back anything? If you manage to have a perfect run at the Menagerie, you receive more rewards and a scrap of paper, kicking off another exotic quest. You'd have to do an Ascended challenge, get 4 map pieces by finding them in chests throughout the system, and in a handicapped Nightfall run. Then you'd run the Warden Nothing Strike, pop a Queen's Foil to become Ascendant, and open this chest to get the Truth Rocket Launcher, the unbelievable tracking PvP god. Mini lore drop. This quest was actually designed for Ido. No, not that one, but the daughter of our Lixni homie Mithrax. Technically, Truth was intended for her, but finders keepers, I guess. In the EDZ, there's a chest to interact with for another exotic quest. Shut up! You love exotic quests! The system positioning device would lead you to another chest with a fragment of Thorn. You'd have to generate 250 orbs of light to get the Rose hand cannon. In the lore, the original wielder of Rose was a guardian corrupted by darkness, converting it into Thorn. Get it? Because every Rose has its Thorn? Whatever. After a series of Blindwell runs, Nightfalls, Gambit, and the Crucible, your final step would be to run the Will of Thousands strike with Rose equipped. You'd use Rose to shoot the floating crystals, kill Zol, and you'd be rewarded with the Illumina hand cannon, the antithesis of Thorn. Instead of poisoning your enemies, you can shoot projectiles that would heal your allies. A bit late, but Callus also gave access to the Tribute Hall. Here you could use Earn Triumphs and Glimmer to display all kinds of statues, enemies, and weapons. After placing a certain amount of tributes, you could interact with the skull in the display case, which would open a Taken portal. After clearing out the Taken inside, you'd be teleported back to the Tribute Hall to receive the Bad Juju exotic pulse rifle. Alright, one more exotic left, and no, it's not tied to a quest. The annual pass provided not just one, but 2 raids. The Crown of Sorrow raid has Callus making us deal with his failed experiment of creating a gladiator mentally powerful enough to bear the Crown of Sorrow and control the resident hive on his ship. The crown was a trap set up by the Witch Queen Savathun, sister of Oryx. It's a relatively short raid. This raid's central mechanic was alternating the Witch's Blessing buff between 3 people, so you'd have 3 people with and without. Those with and without the buff could only damage certain enemies, which would put people who couldn't defend themselves in a tight spot. You also had to destroy crystals in a bubble, which required a blessed and a non-blessed person to hit almost simultaneously. You come across Galran pretty early, but he sends out a mini-him that you have to fight as a boss first. After defeating Galran's deception, it was time for the final boss. You had to shoot both his hands and then the head to get rid of the fakes and also prevent from wiping. Once you beat him, his crown would fall and you get your rewards with a chance of getting the Teraba exotic SMG. Yeah, that's basically everything that got vaulted in Destiny 2. Bungie would eventually sunset sunsetting and stop vaulting major expansions altogether in 2022. I guess like and subscribe if you actually bothered getting through this whole mess. Also, Forsaken definitely took up a large chunk. Did I just glaze the hell out of it, or did we actually get that much content in the span of a year? Regardless of how long Destiny 2's next update takes to drop, because it gives you time to catch up, or if you've already dropped the game forever, let's just appreciate what we got to experience in the past. No matter when you've started, you were a part of the legend of Destiny. Oh yeah, one more thing. This ain't over yet.
I don't know what else we can do. There's nothing else we can do.